Well, welcome back to Scouting for History, and welcome to springtime. The weather's warmer, the ground isn't frozen anymore, don't need to worry about that. The days are longer. It's a great time to enjoy nature and get out and metal detect. But if you're not careful, there's two things that can ruin your day. I'm talking about poison ivy and ticks. So this episode, I'm going to give you some tips to help keep you safe and healthy and happy as you go around in the outdoors. Stay tuned. Now, I've been enjoying the outdoors all my life, hiking, camping, fishing, and now metal detecting too. These are things that I've learned over the years, so here we go. Let's start with the easier one, poison ivy. It's not hard. So the first step for dealing with poison ivy is, number one, know what it looks like. Poison ivy has an oil in its system that when it gets in contact with skin, it'll develop blisters and rashes and itchy, terrible pain for days or weeks. So knowing what it looks like, you can avoid it, but it's not that easy. It's difficult sometimes to see it. It blends in so well with the undergrowth if you're in ground cover or something like that. Well, do you see it? Do you see it? Poison ivy all around this tree and all up the tree. There it is. Also, the oil is all through the plant. It's not just the leaves. It's in the stems, it's in the leaves, it's in the roots. That's bad for people who dig in the ground like us. So you have to be really careful to avoid it if you can. I'll show some pictures here. Usually it's shiny leaves of green, 3 leaves to a stem, but it's not always green. Sometimes it's red, and even when the leaves aren't present, there's oil in the stems and in the vines, so if you touch them, you could get poison ivy. Obviously, avoiding it is the number one strategy. Number two is don't leave yourself uncovered, so wear long pants if you're going to be in the bushes where there might be poison ivy. Gloves help. Long sleeves, but when it gets warmer, long sleeves are not comfortable. But here's a trick. Poison ivy takes time, so just coming in contact with the oil won't give you a rash right away. If you go home right away and take off all your clothes, wash them real good, because there could be poison ivy oil on the clothes, and wash your equipment, but then take a good shower. Soap, hot water, scrub, use a brush, use a washcloth, wash all your exposed skin and all over, just to make sure that you wash off the oil. The soap releases the bond of the oil with the skin, and then the abrasion of the rubbing with a washcloth or a brush flushes away the ivy. Flushes away the oil, and then the water washes it away. So I've never had poison ivy ever. And I'm always out in the woods. Just the other day I had a good signal and some pachysandra and knelt down, got my target. It was a pretty good target. It was a Merc, I think, but I was kneeling in a bed of poison ivy. I didn't see it in all the pachysandra, but didn't get poison ivy from it because it washed up real good afterwards. Now, if you do happen to miss a spot and you get a little bit of a rash, see a doctor right away. They can give you a steroid treatment or some ointment to help alleviate the symptoms of the rash. So poison ivy is not that difficult. Avoid it, wear long clothes, and wash up real good as soon as you get home. So now let's talk about ticks. You don't have to go into the deep woods to get ticks. Just going around in grass, ticks are all through the grass. And if you think about it, they're looking for an animal to walk through and latch onto and get an easy meal. Most of the animals aren't big moose or deer or bears or something like that. They're little critters like mice or chipmunks or squirrels, bunnies. They're down in the grass. That's where the ticks are. So most ticks get on you by latching onto your boots or your shoes as you walk through the grass, and then they just climb up. And I see a fox way down there. I don't know whether you can see him, but he's way down by the edge of the bushes over there. He's watching me. He could have some ticks on him right now. So the first thing I do every early spring, and then again in midsummer, I use permethrin spray to spray my boots really well and all of my metal detecting socks. So if permethrin is a residual spray, running along the edge, and he's watching me. Yeah, cool. So permethrin spray is a residual insecticide. It doesn't repel bugs, but any insects that touch it, even months after you apply it, will die. So that's the first line of defense, is to make sure you use a good permethrin spray on your boots and on your socks. You can spray your pants too, or your hat. I did spray my hat, but it's remember, permethrin lasts for months, but if you wash it, it'll last through probably about 5 or 6 washes. It'll still be effective. So you have to keep treating anything that you wash, your socks, your pants, your shirt, things like that. Number 2 is wear light colored clothing, like an orange shirt. If a tick is crawling on it, you're going to see it right away. It's going to be easy to spot. So, you know, keep an eye out as you walk along in your metal detecting. Look at your pants, look at your shirt, look for ticks that are crawling around looking for a... Now, it may look silly, but blousing your pants into your socks, the ticks have nowhere to go but up, and that gives you more time to spot them. If your pants are out, the ticks could crawl up the socks and onto your pants, or go right to your pants. So you want to give them as little access to your body as possible. So maybe blouse your socks if you want to, just another layer of protection. On to the next. Now, another tip, if you do see a tick, never flick a tick. Ticks are aerodynamic boomerangs. If you have a tick on your arm and you flick it with your finger, it's going to circle back and it's going to land at your feet or on your leg, and it's just going to climb right back up again. Kill it. If you have a multi-tool with a pair of pliers, you can use the pliers to crush the tick. Another trick, it's kind of hard while you're metal detecting, but bring a tiny little lint roller from the dollar store and just trap the tick on the lint roller. Duct tape works too, whatever you can use to trap the tick. But if you just put it back in nature, it's just going to attach to someone or something else. So don't let a tick live. Now, good bug repellent with DEET in it, high DEET content is good too, helps keep them away, mosquitoes and flies too. So DEET and permethrin in conjunction with each other work really well. So just like with poison ivy, time is your friend. Ticks don't normally jump on and latch on right away. They wander around for hours, sometimes a day, looking for just the right spot. So as soon as you go home, take off all your clothes right into the washer to wash away any ticks and kill any ticks that might be in there. But then jump in the shower and take a good shower. Not only does it wash away poison ivy oils, but any ticks that are wandering along could get washed off, hopefully will get washed off before they latch on. Now, while you're taking the shower and afterwards or whatever, do a really thorough tick check and check to make sure there aren't any that lasted through the shower. Now, I really recommend getting a tick key. This little device is fantastic. I have it on a carabiner. I keep it with me every time I'm outdoors. It's real easy to use. If a tick does embed, you put this over the body of the tick and then pull up so that the head goes into this narrow point, and you just pull and it'll actually remove the tick for you right from where it's embedded. Fantastic device, much better, much safer than tweezers. The problem with tweezers is it's real easy to pull and miss the head, which stays behind and could get infected. Or if you squeeze the body of the tick, any illnesses that the tick is carrying, Lyme or Rocky Mountain spotted fever or whatever, you could actually squeeze the tick and it could send those illnesses into your bloodstream by squeezing the body of the tick. So get a tick key and use it. Now let's talk a couple of don'ts. Never ever use any kind of weird remedy to get a tick to release. I've heard everything from putting nail polish on a tick, Vaseline, motor oil, burning a tick off. Oh, who would want to do a thing like that? All kinds of ways to try to force the tick to let go. The problem with these is if the tick is infected with Lyme or Rocky Mountain spotted fever or any of these other illnesses, when you distress the tick, it throws up in you, right? Pleasant thought. It throws up in you, and now you have whatever the tick had. It may release, but first it's going to do its damage. So once you release the tick, again, kill it. Flush it down the toilet, crush it with pliers, stick it to some tape and throw it away. You don't want it escaping from wherever it is that you released it to, because it'll just come back. Or have little baby ticks and you'll have more problems. So get rid of it, kill it. And then again, if the tick does embed and you do remove the tick, watch out for a rash. Maybe see a doctor just in case, but look for a rash. Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever, you do sometimes get a rash, but not all the time. There have been cases where people come up with these diseases and there was never a rash or anything like that. So a rash isn't always needed for you to get one of those diseases. So if you do get embedded with a tick, see a doctor, get their advice. On to the next. So that's it, just a couple of quick tips to help keep you safe and healthy and happy this detecting season, or camping or hiking, whatever it is you like to do in the outdoors. So if you're new to my channel, check out some of my other videos, maybe hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any tips that you didn't see in this video, put them down below, add a comment, ask a question, happy to answer. On to the next, come along on the next adventure.